Hi, I'm Rob the accountant. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to try to make this quick. A lot of what I talk about are the policies and procedures set in place that our government and the policymakers used to say that we have institutions that are separate but equal to the same effort and output that you go to work for every day. For example, what I am talking about today is nonprofits versus corporations. Um, Nonprofits are your United Way, your Red Cross. Um, there are thousands of them in every state, in every community, ranging from housing to homeless to drug crisis. And what happens is they file a 501(c), which is an exempt organization, and then they file a IRS Form 990, which is basically the tax exemption for the money that they bring in. So um, let me explain it to you a little bit differently. Last year, the United Way of New York State had revenue of 493 million or 493,000, one or the other. They leave a lot of other dots that I didn't want to go through ProPublica and really analyze, but their expenses were 491. So there was a difference of two. My apologies. I had to break in here and do a secondary piece here on the editing. One of the other issues with all these nonprofits is that they have so many chapters. So when I was at ProPublica, I was just viewing one. And so what I had to do was I had to go and find how many chapters there were in New York. So as you can see, New York loves it because I think we have 172 counties, don't quote me. So you have all these chapters, and this is just one organization in one state, and the United Way, I believe, is in every state. So when you just think about what the United Way says, they say that they have 1,100 chapters, and it's just like, all this money going into the office space and rent space. And then one of the other things that I didn't really get to talk about is when you talk about the charities as it relates to folks with disabilities. The people who work at a lot of these nonprofits, they're not paid anything. They're paid usually minimum wage, and they're the ones providing all the care. So I just had to drop in here real quick, edit this portion real quick, and say it's just vast. And so look at it, and I'll continue with the rest of it. Thank you so much, and sorry for the error. So they spent all that money, and they had barely any money left. So if they were going to pay taxes on what they made, it would be a very small amount anyways. But they go through all these hoops to not pay taxes. For example, last year the Red Cross, which is a great organization, brought in $3 billion, but its expense ratio was 2.97 billion. Again, this is not a little bit of money. And what I'm saying is what we have to do as a country is stop having separate but equal policies. We should all be in this tax game together. If you want to go and help homeless people, the American people, or the members of California, or the members of Texas, or the city of Austin, those residents shouldn't have to pay more taxes or get calls that say, oh, well, you're not helping the cause, give us more money. These people raise unlimited sums of money, and when you actually look at the 501(c) code, which is what I'm more concerned with today, the amount of money all these nonprofits bring in and their expense ratios is always going to balance out pretty much to zero. It's just the way it is. And so what actually happens is that when you guys look in your local communities, you're going to see all these nonprofits, and you're going to see the leaders and the board of directors making all this money. Now, when I was much younger, I worked at a telemarketing firm, and their number said that for every dollar a telemarketing firm collected, 75% was to administration and running the nonprofit. So the organization itself actually got 25 cents of every dollar. I'm sure it's less today, okay? But the biggest thing about it is the rules say that they may not influence or have impact against your political leaders, meaning they're not allowed to go out and ask for legislation. But there's a caveat. It just says as long as it's not substantial. So I know that this one is tough because I'm probably not explaining it right, but the government grants access to a group of companies who tug on your heartstrings to give money. Hungry children, children with cancer, hospitals, all these nonprofits, right? And we donate to them. And then the government exempts all their money from taxation. And there's really no oversight, because when I say there's no oversight, then NFL is a nonprofit, the NBA is a nonprofit, the PGA is a nonprofit. The teams might actually be for profit, right? So the teams where they are, if you're the Boston Celtics in Boston, you might have the state of Massachusetts tax you, but we all know that's not happening and everything. But the thing is you go to work every day. So what I think should happen to solve this discrepancy, it's a terrible discrepancy, is that for single people, I was at $26,000, but since things don't seem to be coming down at all, I think that everybody in the United States should be able to make $30,000 who are single, unmarried. That's all you're filing is single. $30,000, and all the other exemptions can come down through how they would normally come down. And if you're a married couple, you should be able to make $60,000. And really, in both those amounts of money, it is barely enough money to survive. And so while the United States government and all 50 states are designating thousands of companies as nonprofits, these companies are just, churches are nonprofits. So everyone's raising free money everywhere but you and me. But then when the end of the year comes, the people who are paying the taxes are you and me. And it just seems like it should be the other way around. It seems like it would be more appropriate that the people bringing in $3 billion would be able to pay something, right? Because, if you're saying that I'm the Red Cross and I've got all this bleeding heart crap I got to do, right? Well, then isn't part of that bleeding heart paying at least 1 or 2% to the people, the government, who allows you the tools to raise that money and then not pay taxes on it? You know what I'm saying? And the other big one, folks, that's a nonprofit. All political campaigns are nonprofits. So that's why you see these war chests of $10 million and $30 million, right? And it's just unlimited funds. And so when you want things to change, you're never going to see change until we stop saying that we have all these systems that are separate but equal. Let's acknowledge today that we have these systems. They're not equal at all. And let's start working to just say, hey, let's cut all this tax bullshit away. Let's just go to a flat tax where everybody pays something, even poor people. Because if you don't make $30,000, you're going to pay taxes in all the places that you may or may not live. Those states may have taxes relative to where you are, but you get to make $30,000 untaxed at the federal level. And New York will just say, oh, well, they're 30, it's 15 for us. But I think most states who tax their citizens will follow that same. They won't have the minimum that is lower than the federal government. So I just think if you folks take some time to go, you guys can search all these nonprofits too. Maybe I'll throw the link if a few people make some comments on the 990 form link, so you guys can search all the nonprofits. And it's just telling you what their exempt status is, and it's a very general form. But what you should really do is look around your community and listen to your local radio. And all those people, like when you go to the grocery store tonight and they want $2 from you, and they call you tomorrow and they want to tell you that they need more cancer research money, why don't you go tell them to get it from the government? Because it just seems like after COVID, when they were giving away all this free drugs to save the world, that if they want to save some kids with cancer, they would make the drugs available and they wouldn't need to come to me or you to ask for more money. I'm Rob. Hope you guys have a good day. I know this one's kind of been a little bit disorganized. It's kind of hard with these kind of things. But I really don't have an outline. I don't have a teleprompter where I can just have everything programmed out for me. So I try with what I got. So thanks for stopping by. And again, I think we need to just stop with the nonprofits. I think they need to go away. And I think that whether it's corporate America or the small business, a sole proprietor, we have to have equal tax treatment for everyone in the space where they're at. So if you're in the business space, it should be one set of rules for everybody. If you're in the W-2 individual space, should be one set of rules for everybody, and that should begin at $30,000 for individuals and $60,000 for married folks. Have a good day.